A.
The origins of English vocabulary. Language online.
Some languages do not easily accept words from other languages into their lexicon, but English has always welcomed them. It is estimated that English vocabulary has its sources in at least 120 languages. Some languages have, of course, provided English with more words than others. English started out with a basic Anglo-Saxon word stock. Viking and Norman invaders from the 9th century onwards enriched the language enormously with large numbers of words brought from their own languages. The Vikings brought new words of Germanic origin, while the Normans spoke a form of French. Both sets of invaders had an enormous impact on English vocabulary, explaining why English may sometimes seem to have several words for the same basic concept. During the Renaissance of the 15th to the 17th centuries, scholars introduced many words of classical origin. And throughout history, English speakers' contact with the world as explorers, scientists, traders, pirates and holidaymakers has had linguistic consequences in a wealth of new words from every part of the world that they reached. These words, taken from other languages, are sometimes referred to as loan words or borrowings.
B. English words from other languages.
Arabic. Amber. Yellowy orange substance originating from tree resin and used in jewellery. For example, an amber necklace.
Dutch. Roster. List of people's turns for jobs. For example, the cooking roster.
Farsi. Tabby. Grey and brown stripy cat. For example, our old Tabby.
German. Gimmick. An amusing or unusual way of attracting attention. For example, advertising gimmicks.
Greek. Tonic. Medicine to make you feel stronger and better. For example, take a tonic.
Hindi. Cot. Child's bed with high vertical sides. For example, sleep in a cot.
Icelandic. Mumps. A childhood illness. For example, have mumps.
Japanese. Karaoke. Type of entertainment where ordinary people sing to popular music. For example, a karaoke machine.
Portuguese. Palaver. Unnecessary trouble. For example, what a palaver.
Russian. Intelligentsia. Social class of intellectuals. For example, 19th century intelligentsia.
Spanish. Hammock. Net hung and used as a bed. For example, sleep in a hammock.
Turkish. Turban. Type of men's headwear made from a long piece of cloth. For example, wear a turban.
C. False friends.
Some English words may look like words in your language, but have a different meaning. Such words are known as false friends. For example, the German word gift looks like the English word gift, present, but actually means poison in German. The English word sympathetic resembles a word meaning simply nice in many other European languages, but in English, sympathetic has a much narrower meaning, understanding and caring about someone else's suffering. Note also that the pronunciation of a word borrowed into English may be quite different from its pronunciation in its language of origin.
A. Words similar in form and close in meaning.
The United Nations should intervene to stop the civil war.
She shouldn't interfere in things that don't concern her.
The phone's been ringing continually. It's driving me crazy.
Stir the mixture continuously until it boils.
There's a new series on TV about space exploration.
I don't want to miss this week's episode of Oliver Twist. It's a serial. If I miss one, I'll lose track of the story.
We sat in the shade of a big oak tree.
The evening sun cast long shadows.
They lived in the shadow of a chemical factory.
She complimented me on my performance at the concert.
I took a course in programming to complement my other IT skills.
B. Words of different form but from the same area of meaning.
The cake mixture should be moist but not sticky.
The climate in the north is damp and rather cold.
The theme of the festival was 1,000 years of culture.
The topic of conversation soon changed to the news.
The security officer noticed a broken window.
The safety officer told him that he must wear a helmet.
We took a smaller road in order to avoid the roadworks on the motorway.
The escaped prisoner evaded capture for 3 months.
C. Phrasal combinations.
Phrasal verbs may have noun forms with different meanings. Verb. 6 men broke out of the prison. Noun. There was a breakout at the prison. Verb. The disease has broken out in several villages in the north of the country. Noun. There has been an outbreak of the disease in several villages in the north of the country. Verb. Economists are looking out for signs of an end to the recession. Noun. The outlook is not good. The economy seems to be stagnant. Verb. He stood at the corner looking out for police cars. Noun. He was the lookout while the others robbed the bank. Verb. The swimming club decided to set up a committee to look into the club rules. Noun. The company setup is quite complex, with branches in 30 different countries. In some cases, 2 verb forms have the same words in a different order and different meanings. Upend. End up. Uphold. Hold up. Outdo. Do out. Outrun. Run out. Upset. Set up.
A. Polysemy.
A great many words in English have more than one meaning. Linguists call this aspect of vocabulary polysemy. Look at these sentences and think about how you would translate the words in italics into your own language.
Fair.
It's only fair that we should share the housework.
The Frankfurt Book Fair is a very important event for most publishers.
The forecast is for the weather to stay fair for the next week.
I've got fair skin and burn easily in the sun.
His marks in his final exams ranged from excellent to fair.
Flat.
The firefighters managed to save the children from the burning 3rd-floor flat.
The countryside round here is terribly flat and boring.
To join the fitness club, you pay a flat fee of £500.
The sonata is in B flat minor.
She finished the exercise in 5 minutes flat.
Capital.
Fill in the form in capital letters.
Wellington is the capital of New Zealand.
You need plenty of capital to open a restaurant.
Capital punishment has been abolished in many countries.
Mean.
What does coagulate mean?
I didn't mean to hurt you.
He's far too mean to buy her flowers.
The mean temperature for July is 25 degrees Celsius.
You shouldn't be so mean to your little sister.
You probably need a different word to translate fair, flat, capital and mean in each sentence. Sometimes the meanings are clearly related. Flat, as in countryside, has a connection with flat, as in apartment, in that they both include an idea of being on one level. Sometimes, however, there is no connection at all. For example, the meaning of fair, as in book fair, has no obvious connection with any of the other meanings of fair. Words like this can be called homographs, words with the same spellings but different meanings.
B. Being aware of polysemy.
It is useful to be aware of polysemy in English for several reasons. You need to remember that the meaning you first learnt for a word may not be the one that it has in a new context. You need to be aware that in English, words can sometimes be used as different parts of speech. Flat, with its apartment meaning, for instance, can become an adjective, for example, a set of flat keys. Learning about the range of meanings that a word can have can help you to learn several meanings for the price of one. It will also help you to understand jokes in English, as these are often based on polysemous words.
A. Adjective plus noun collocations. Nouns often have typical adjectives which go with them. Here are some examples. Compare thing and article. We say, the real thing. We don't usually say, the genuine thing. We say, the genuine article. We don't usually say, the real article. I don't like five-a-side football. I prefer the real thing.
These trainers are the genuine article. Those others are just cheap imported copies.
You can give a broad summary of something.
You can describe something in great detail.
Some adjectives go with a restricted range of nouns. For example, a formidable opponent, or a formidable reputation, or a formidable task, or a formidable challenge. B. Verb plus adverb collocations. Often, verbs have typical adverbs that collocate with them. The lines here show which collocations are normal. She always walks too fast. She always walks too quickly.
Let's move fast. Let's move quickly. Let's move swiftly on to the next point.
It's something I feel strongly about.
If I remember rightly, it happened at about 6:30.
C. Adverb plus adjective collocations.
It is useful to learn which adverbs most typically modify particular types of adjectives. For example, the adverb utterly, which means totally or completely, very frequently occurs before adjectives with negative connotations, although it can also be used with neutral or positive words. Typical examples are appalling, dismal, depressed, disgusting, distasteful, exhausted, false, fatuous, impossible, lost, ludicrous, naive, pointless, ridiculous, unacceptable, useless, wrong. Try to notice this kind of regularity when learning words.
D. Verb plus object collocations.
Verbs and their objects often form collocations. You raise your hand to ask a question. You can raise a family. You can visit, or go to, or click on, or check out a website.